What's going on, folks? Welcome to 34 Questions. I'm your host, 34. Today I'm joined by Lidia, the author. Welcome to the show, Lidia.
Hi, thank you for having me.
No worries. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for your time and your interest and, just being open to sharing your story. I definitely appreciate it. For those unfamiliar with the flow of the show, we do a few intro questions to set the tone, and then we jump into an icebreaker, which is a one-word spelling bee. Feel free to participate. Feel free not to. It's all good. And then we jump into the main portion of the interview where you choose a number between 1 and 34, and we get the conversation rolling like that. Sound good to you, Lidia?
Yes.
Awesome. So my very first question for you is, how have you been? You doing well? You going through it? How you been, Lidia?
I've been a little bit of both, which is, I guess, normal, right in between. Every day is different, I guess. Yeah.
For sure. How's this whole past year been for you? Has it been It's hard because I know a lot of people go through a lot of difficult things, but I know for some people it's been like this metamorphosis, or we're in a cocoon, so sometimes we can end up being better than we were before the whole quarantine. How about for yourself? How's that experience been for you?
Depends on what I guess aspect you ask. In my work, I think I'm doing good. I'm doing great. Personal life, it comes and goes, it's a flow.
No doubt.
And it's just like with the pandemic and everything, you have to take things day by day,
Yeah, it seems like, I don't know if you follow the media that much, but I can't help but, be bombarded by stories and articles and whatnot. So every day it's like, oh, we got good news. Oh, we got bad news. Oh, we got good news. Oh, we got bad news. And it's been like that. And I think it's because, there's been less things to keep me preoccupied, so I can pay attention more to my feeds. But yeah, no, I feel you on that. My second question for you is, what would you like your descendants to know about you? If you're going to reach down generations down the road and they were trying to figure out, I wonder what my ancestors were like, what would you want them to know about you?
I would like them to know that I never gave up despite everything I've been through, and that they can make it too.
For sure. You had mentioned you were an author off camera, and wanted to ask, how did that start for you?
I guess I've always liked writing poetry. It started with poetry, and when you take those like tests in school to be like, what should you be based on your personality, they always said writer, and I'm like, that'd be nice. I do like poetry. I did it more in my free time, but I'm like, could I actually do this as a job? And one day I just, self-published. I self-published, which is what I prefer as an author. And I just did my thing and it worked out.
For sure. What's the route to self-publishing, and how is that different from going to, I guess, a publishing company? I'm not sure what the term is.
Traditional publishing. Yeah. Well, there's traditional publishing and self-publishing. Self-publishing is more you have all the control, which is I'm not a control freak. Well, I probably am a control freak.
We all are.
It's more work, but in traditional publishing, you kind of have to give the control to someone, and I didn't really like that idea. I like being creative. I like more than writing. I like photography and all that, so I just wanted to do this by myself. I'm very independent when it comes to work, so I use this platform called Blurb, where they print books, and I can edit it and just do my thing. So I used a program, I guess.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So would you ever be open to a publishing house if they ever came to you, or would you be like, I don't know, it depends on, how much control I have?
I actually recently, like really recently, I got a deal.
Oh,
I don't know
snap.
what you call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I actually denied it. I mean, I said thank you, thank you, but I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good right now because you have to look at the legalities and all that, and all that fun stuff. And it turned out it wasn't for me. So I'm still self-publishing, and I have my little book babies. And,
I feel you. Mm-hmm. For sure. I'll definitely ask you more later in the interview about your authorship. My third question for you is, how would you like to be honored? If I was going to tell myself today I'm going to honor Lydia in some way, in some act, what could I do?
I guess in a way, just, it sounds weird, but like be in my life in a way, like in social media, for example. My followers are in my social media life.
I get you.
Following and all that and liking, which I appreciate to the moon. Like, even if they like, I appreciate it. If they buy my book, that's how I'd like to be honored. Like, if someone even reads one poem that I've written out of nowhere, like, it means a lot to me. So yeah, that's how I'd be honored, I guess.
Awesome, for sure. Well, we'll talk later about how I can cop a book off you. And does it send out to from you, or does it send out from the company to me? If I was going to order.
Company.
Gotcha.
Yeah, from the shipping company, but it's available and anywhere you buy books. So good, wherever you want to buy it.
Nice. Okay. I'll get those titles from you for sure. My fourth question for you is, how well do you know yourself? And if it's hard to put into words, you could just do a scale from 1 to 10.
I would say a 7.
Okay. Why a 7, if you don't mind me asking?
I guess I spend a lot of time with myself. I'm a kind of a loner, and I'm an introvert, so I'm always with myself, which I love. I love my alone time. And I guess I know myself to an inner perspective, but I can't really get the outer perspective, so I count that as a no, not really. Like, but I think on the most part, I know myself. I know my weaknesses. I know my strengths. I know my values and all that stuff. But yeah, there's always gonna be like that part that I don't know, I guess.
No doubt. And you're younger than I am, but I would like to think that you talk about not knowing yourself externally because you've been so introverted. It's weird for me because I think I always used to consider myself an extrovert before college. Then when I got to college, I became extremely introverted until about this year, pretty much. And so no, I think the experience as you go through your journey in life will help you get that other 30% that you don't know about yourself just yet.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Do you mind me asking, what kind of challenges do you think an introvert has that people who aren't introverts don't understand?
Not becoming, I mean, it's a little extreme to say, but in a way, not becoming addicted to being alone, because it becomes something that is, I guess, a choice. And if you're an introvert, you'd rather be by yourself because you entertain yourself, you live in your own little world.
I feel like you just called me out, but no, you're fine. But no, I totally get it. That's I think that's something I'm coming to grips with as well. I'm trying to find the spark and joy that I had before I became so introverted through my college years, and it's slowly getting back to me. But I don't know if you ever heard Jim Carrey talk about solitude and how he's mentioned the same thing, the addiction behind not having to deal with so many external stuff and kind of like enjoying your life the way you want to. But I think there is that balance, and we're all just working to find that balance for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so we made it to the icebreaker spelling bee portion. Would you like to participate? And if not, that's fine as well.
Yes, if I don't know, that would be a shame as an author.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Also, let me know if you've already came across this word from viewing previous episodes. Scout's honor. But your word will be epilepsy.
Okay, I can do this.
You got this.
EPILEPSY.
You got it. Yeah, you acted. You're being humble, acting like you didn't know. But congrats. I mean, as an author, I wasn't doubting that you had the skills. But yeah, congrats. And whenever I get a chance to do a spelling bee episode, you'll definitely be invited back with the other guests who have gotten their word right as well. So yeah, we'll see if it happens. Fingers crossed.
Awesome.
All right, so we made it to the main portion of the interview where you choose a number between 1 and 34, and you keep choosing numbers after each question, just a heads up. And if anything gets too deep, feel free to just pass or skip. But yeah, give me your first number.
10.
10. If you were to get a phrase or quote or symbol tattooed on your body, what would you get?
A phrase or symbol. I don't know. Would this be a symbol? I don't know. I always like skulls. I don't know if you could tell.
Oh, okay. Yeah. For sure.
So I've always like that kind of theme. So maybe like a human hand reaching out for a skeleton hand. I don't know. That would be kind of a symbol for me.
That sounds dope. Where did where did your interest in skulls happen, or how did that get started?
I think around 2 years ago. Yeah, I like the metaphor.
What's the metaphor?
Oh,
sorry. I'm act like I'm stupid. Yeah.
I guess the metaphor could be different for everybody. For me, it's how I view humanity, people. That okay, for example, the skull is something we are afraid of, but it's who we are on the inside. So that doesn't make sense. Like, we use it for Halloween decorations, and they're scary, but it's ultimately what we are and what we become. So I don't know. Yeah.
No, that's. No, I like that reason. That's something I it's never been presented to me in that way, to think that, that's who we really are down to the core. Without the mind and body, we're just a bag of bones, right? It's a trip. Yep. It's a trip. For sure. Go ahead and throw me another number.
28.
28. Do you consider yourself to be religious or spiritual?
No. No.
Okay. Neither one. Not For sure. Were you ever exposed to that world? Like, did you ever have to, follow religion, or was it just something that was never introduced to you in your life?
Yeah, definitely. I I guess you could say I grew up Catholic, but my parents weren't really into it. It's just like the title, I guess. I grew up Catholic, and then I started exploring, different things, and I ended up with Christianity. And then I had this phase. I think everybody has this phase. Every like Christian or religious person where they like become kind of what's it called? I wouldn't say radicalized, but intensely into it.
Okay.
I had that in high school. I had that phase. It was interesting. But now I'm just I guess I'm open-minded, and I just lead with love in my life.
For sure. No, I get that intense I guess radicalism that you were talking about. I was raised Catholic as well, and I went to a K through 8 Catholic school, and at that time I my first dream was to be a rapper, and my whole handle was Lone Prophet because I was so religious. Yeah, kind of a play on Lone Ranger, but yeah. So now it's just that term agnostic, where it's like people believe in something but they just don't know what label to put on it, or is that, would you more lean towards that, or are you just like, hey, we only got one life to live and this is all we got?
I guess I've never like said it out loud, but I guess I'm agnostic in a way.
For sure. Right now I don't claim any religion. I like to think that I'm more spiritual than anything, and same with you. I'm just open-minded. I think the stories that they present us and the figures that they've chosen to lead those religions, I think we're all on the same team at the end of the day, but people like to say they're better than each other, right? So
yeah.
That's where we are. Go ahead and throw me another number.
21.
21.
My age.
For sure. This is a little bit I think a little bit harder of a question.
Okay.
just brace yourself. But what are you currently struggling with?
Okay. Yeah. I'm struggling with finding the will to go on.
Where? Would that is that with writing or with school?
With life, I guess.
With life.
I'm diagnosed with depression. So I have a difficult time finding a reason to live sometimes.
I got you. No, I got you. Thank you for opening up. I know it's not easy. Yeah, I've never, been diagnosed myself, and honestly, depression looks different in a lot of people. So it's always going to be hard for us to tell when someone's going through it. But yeah, honestly, I just want to ask if there's any way I could help. It's not easy, and for me, I think I still try to find my will as well. I just kind of take every day as another opportunity to try to discover what it is to keep going on. Yeah, with that being said, would you say there's any like tactics or any way you're planning to help deal with it?
Well, I've had depression all my life. I just never got diagnosed. But I've been to therapy, and I'm on medication, and that helps. And doing the things I love, but also giving myself space to, I guess, take care of myself. When I don't feel so good.
Yeah. What advice would you give people who may be feeling, a similar way that you do?
Hmm. You never know what the future holds, and you have to meet that person that will get through this. Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, I don't have the answers, Lydia, but it sounds like you got a talent, and that is valuable. And I think the thoughts and stories that can come from you won't be coming from anybody else. So if that's the only reason you feel like to keep moving on, I think that would be a great reason to, is that you're a creator, and I think the world needs more creators, so yeah. Go ahead and throw me another number. Thank you again for opening up.
Yeah, no problem. 7. Wait, did I do 7 yet?
No, you haven't.
Okay.
This kind of builds on to that last question, but at the moment, what would you say gets you up in the morning?
This is gonna be like a little dark funny, but
hey, I'm okay. Go ahead.
I always get myself up in the morning when I tell myself I can take a nap later. So yeah, that's my motivation, I guess. And also writing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's great that you have that option to take a nap during the day. I wish I still had that. For sure. So with writing, right? You started off writing poems, right? Mm-hmm. And you said you had a novel, or no novel yet?
Yeah, a novel, yeah.
Can you tell me what that novel's about?
It's about death. It's a fictional story about, I guess, the spirit of death coming down to earth and getting to know it beyond the scary reaper or how we view it as scary or evil, when in reality it's just taking us to death, because I guess who would want to go to death alone, And I like that mythology, I guess, if you could call it that.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to think about it. How long did it take you to finish that book?
Like 5 years.
Took you 5 years. Damn, that's persistence right there too. Remember that you got that too. Now a lot of people are gonna be working on a book for 5 years. A lot of people would have given up. Is that only like its own book, or do you have like you planning to add on to it? Because it sounds like an interesting, plot.
I'm not sure if I'll do a sequel on that specific story, but I don't know. Whatever comes, whatever happens,
For sure.
Going with the flow.
Is it just that one novel, or?
It's also I have a poetry book which I definitely want to continue. My dream is to continue it until the end of my life, until hopefully I'm older and wiser and all that. Yeah.
Where do you see yourself with this career in writing? Or do you want a career in writing, or do you want it to be just something for yourself?
I definitely do want a career in writing, but I also don't want to put myself in a box. As a writer, I love writing and I love being acknowledged as a writer and all that. But I also like photography. I like business. I like all other stuff. And yeah.
For sure. Go ahead and throw me another number.
Okay. 30.
So this one's a little bit of a tongue twister. Let me know if you need clarifications. But if seeing is believing, is there anything you believe in that we can't see?
Wow.
Yeah.
I I guess going back to what was it? It was the previous question, not the previous question. One of the questions.
For sure. Yeah.
I guess I do believe in a higher power in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe in something that wants the best for us at heart. Yeah, I guess that I believe in a purpose of why we're here, Yeah.
So do you think there's like a singular purpose or an encompassing purpose for everyone, or is it almost like specific to each person? There's no right or wrong answer, just how you feel about it.
I'm not quite subscribed to the idea of one single person gets one purpose, or for example, I don't believe in soulmates. I don't believe in soulmates, for example, and like that one soulmate. I think that there's a lot of different paths, and whatever path you take, is going to take you where the next path is going to take you, and the next path is just a journey, and wherever you end up, it's I guess it's what it is.
Yeah. The different choices we make, right? Opens doors, closes others. I had another question, but it's a fleeting from my mind right now. Go ahead and throw me another number.
15.
15. What change would you like to see in the world?
Ooh. I guess for there to be more openness to understanding other people without judgment. Kindness.
Yeah. What do you think are the barriers to that? Or yeah.
I guess in a way, I've seen a lot of people who fail to fight themselves when it comes to judging people, because everyone's a little judgy.
Yeah.
Everyone's a little judgy, and you get that whenever you, I guess, get the urge to judge, you get that thought, but then you have to let yourself think through it and be like, defend in a way, or the people you're judging, or see them in a different light despite what your head tells you, I guess.
No doubt. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like our natural instinct, right? Or our animal instinct, where we see animals all the time. They stop, they look, they either bark or they stay quiet. But yeah, I think that's what we do too. How fast can you do it? I know for me, it's still, I catch myself judging a little bit longer than I would like to, and then before I can step back. But yeah, how about for yourself?
It usually takes more than a moment. I guess for example, like first impressions, it takes me until I stop being with the person, and I can be with myself and be like, see all the good qualities and understand that there's only the perspective I see of them is only their external. So yeah.
For sure. And then, do you think it could happen, or do you think this is going to be like an internal struggle for humankind?
I don't think, I'm a kind of like a realist pessimist.
For sure.
But I do have some sort of optimism. I think we're on the right track. There's definitely I guess more acceptance on certain things, but there's also prejudice in a lot of things, and bad judgment, and all that stuff. It's very complex. But I think the way that humans work is that there's always going to be a good and a bad.
True. And it's a shame, but I get it. As much as I'd want everybody to be happy, chill, and just enjoying their lives, we're always going to be going through some challenges, especially I don't it's so hard for me to need to accept the fact that people are just not going to get along, even though no matter how much you try to tell them it's okay, in the end none of this is really going to matter. At least that's how I kind of view it, is that why not just be positive, because in the end it's not going to be anything else, right, but our energy. But yeah, anyways,
you can only affect yourself. That's your power in the world. You can only affect yourself, or decide to be kind.
yeah I guess one of my personal missions is kind of to present that energy that from this podcast to my real life, of that understanding and bringing a good atmosphere. But at the end of the day, I know that I can't change a person. The person's gonna need to change themselves. So it kind of feels like I'm going up an uphill battle, but I'd rather be doing that than anything else. So for sure, thanks for that little nugget. Made me to see it in a different light. Go ahead, throw me another number.
Okay. 13.
13. This one's heavy.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Who do you miss?
Oh. I miss my a friend that currently left for the Philippines, and he was just one of those friends that I never thought I could have. One of those friends that kind of seems like too good to be true, I guess. And we really had a connection. I don't believe in soulmates, like I said, but I believe in soul friends. I don't believe in romantic soulmates, but I believe in just connecting with someone, not just one person, but connecting with someone. And he was that for me. For sure.
Now, thank you for opening up for that. I read back these questions sometimes, and I'm just like, ooh, I do not know if this is a good question to ask, but so thank you. So you're talking about soul friends. I had this idea of where I guess I kind of believe in reincarnation in a way, but the thing that's different for me is that sometimes I think our souls are destined to be in this time frame that we're in. So if something were to happen to me and I didn't lead a fulfilling life, then I would basically start back in the 90s where I was brought into this world, and I'd basically get another shot at trying to live a fulfilling life. And I get a lot of deja vu sometimes, and the whole thing is and when you talk about soul friends, right? I definitely get that anytime especially sometimes when I just meet a stranger and all of a sudden we're clicking, we've known each other. Sometimes I think it's because of those interactions in a previous life that allows me to just pick it up where we left off, kind of thing. And I do have, I would say, a handful of folks that, even though I never see them as often, anytime it's a call or anytime we see each other in person, it kind of brings back that energy. Just interesting thought that you inspired. Go ahead and throw me another number.
Okay. 5.
5. What would you say is your natural talent?
Oh. Listening.
Listening.
Yeah, listening.
What does that superpower give you? Because I will tell folks out there, not everybody listens as well as other people do. So how does that change your world, or like add values to your world when you listen?
I think as a friend, I like listening. As a stranger, I like listening to other people's conversations. Sometimes I laugh at jokes they say to their friends, and it's awkward. It was a good joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also kind of learn from others' mistakes. So in a way, just watching them and being like, okay, I'll avoid that.
Yeah.
But also being there for people. I like being there for people.
For sure. Was there at any point where you discovered this talent, where you just like sitting back one time and just realizing like, damn, everybody's talking a lot and I'm the only one just like sitting there? I know that's what it's like for me sometimes.
Yeah. Well, as a loner, I guess I discovered it, just watching people, and that's technically what my first book is about. My poetry book, it's called Hey Humanity, and it's just about those moments where I'm just listening and I'm just watching. So
Wow, for sure. Since you brought up the books, who's your favorite, or what's your favorite book?
Ooh. My favorite book is People You May Know by Topher Kirby.
People You May Know. Can you kind of give me a synopsis of that book?
It's kind of I guess what inspired mine as well. It's different stories, different experiences that I guess the author had, and moments and people, and I guess that's what makes it special, because no one can write what he writes. And yeah, I just liked it very much.
For sure. That it kind of reminds me of that other book. So you said The People You May Know. That's what the book's called. Is this? Yeah. Have you read the 5 People You Meet in Heaven? I think that's the title.
Oh, I haven't, but I've heard of it.
Yeah. I wonder if they're similar, because it kind of, I think the idea, I didn't read them, so don't judge me, but I think it's about like, these personalities, or these archetypes of people that we just seem to come across, right? And I hate to feel like I'm a statistic, but I know that I fit into one of these types in some way. So psychologists out there can break me down and know exactly who I am before I even know myself sometimes. But yeah, I'll check that one out. I like those kind of books. Go ahead and throw me another number.
9.
Who do you have major respect for?
Ooh.
It doesn't have to be just one person. It could be a group of people. You could just expand that way.
I have respect for people who humble themselves in the midst of success.
I don't normally like talking about celebrities, but is there a celebrity that you kind of see that they carry themselves that way?
The first thing that pops in my mind is Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, he seems like a really cool dude. Definitely the person, if I was ever gonna reach that kind of fame or be in that industry, I would like to carry myself as Keanu Reeves. And it's a shame though, because like he seems so cool that I just hope he doesn't have like, skeletons in his closet that come out and everyone's like, oh no, not him. Like, so no, I feel you. Go ahead and throw me another number.
6. Another
heavy one, but
okay.
Yeah. what is something people dislike about you, if anyone's ever kind of like talked to you about it?
They dislike that I don't sugarcoat things. When I give them advice, or when I don't give unsolicited advice, because I don't like that. If they ask for advice, I tell them the truth, and then if it's a bad truth, I guess, or just a truth that upsets them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't like me that much.
I got you. Yeah, the truth hurts. I think, I don't want to judge people, but sometimes I think it's more of a reflection of, who they are if they can't take it. But yeah, I mean, let me see. How do you feel about it? Are you like, is it something you want to change, or is it something where like, no, I think this is who I am and it's valuable?
Yeah, I think it's valuable if the person is willing to, put it out there for me to give advice on it. So I mean, it's their choice. I'm just being a truthful person, and I'm not pushing opinions on anybody unless they ask for advice.
For sure. Do you think there's ever a good time to lie?
Ooh. Yes. When like, I guess little white lies, like, it's the first time I've used Netflix, and I did not use 100 other email addresses.
I got you. Those little lies. Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. I mean, Santa Claus, right? What we tell kids sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of those kids that believed in Santa Claus for way too long, and I felt like everybody in school was like, "Don't you know he's fake?" And I'm like, "Nah, man, he just sent me a letter with his name on it and signature." Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was one of those kids. Go ahead and throw me another number.
17.
We kind of touched on it, but I also want to hear your answer to this. It's a fill in the blank, so religion is blank.
Using your humanity to help others.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, I think religion gets a bad rap, and it does rightfully so. I think there's a lot of people taking advantage of it, but what do you think since you've kind of were in that community for a little bit, what were some of the benefits, or like the perks, I guess, from being a part of the community?
There's obviously good and bad, as in everything, but I think a sense of you can help, in a way of telling people they can help anyone, and they give you those resources to help people. I guess in your own, it doesn't matter what you believe as long as you use it for good.
I got you. Yeah, that's something that totally slipped my mind. For everybody out there who's trying to do good in the world and they don't feel like they know where to start, and going to a church and just asking them like, hey, I want to volunteer, or what can I do to help people? And yeah, I think church is a great place to get those resources. I had forgotten about that for sure. Go ahead, throw me another number.
Okay, 12.
A little heavy, but what mistake would you like to take back?
not asking for help sooner.
I feel you. What makes it so hard to ask for help sometimes, if you don't mind me asking? Because I struggle with it too. So.
What makes it hard? I guess there's a lot of things. I would say what makes it difficult it's difficult to open up to people, and it's difficult to be vulnerable, which is what your podcast is about, which I love that concept, by the way. But I guess it's just difficult to be seen as anything, but it's difficult to be seen as human. You know, beyond the facade of, hey, I'm successful, I have this. I guess beyond your facade, like breaking those walls is extremely difficult.
Yeah, they are. I think you're actually, I don't know if you're the generation after me, but I think we could have that connection of being a part of the same generation. What do you think, like, the way the internet is, the social media is, and how it's so a part of our lives, it's presented a different way of thinking as far as how it's affected our mental health, aside from like previous generations who never really had to worry about, being in front of a screen all the time and seeing other people's. What are your thoughts on that?
I actually, kind of pondered on that recently. I think that human struggles will always be struggles. No matter if we have, technology or internet. I'm not saying that doesn't affect us. Of course, it's totally different and just something that we did not expect to have with the internet. And I think that what affects us and what makes us struggle is just how we react to things. So I recently saw this, I don't know if it was like a comment on a post or something that said it was better in the 90s, or it was better before the internet. It kind of sounds like the internet is bad and you are, addicted to it. Like, I don't know, it sounds kind of like, not judgy, but kind of sound close-minded, I guess. Yeah, so I don't have a particular like, oh, the internet it's good or the internet is bad. I think whatever comes at you is how you react to it. So yeah, I guess it's up to the individual.
For sure. Yeah, I think we all have our biases, right? Especially for older folks who may have lived in a generation that they think is the greatest. I hear that all the time. And I'm pretty nostalgic about the 90s as well. I don't think it's the greatest era, but it was just something that I was fortunately like alive to live through. But yeah, I just want to give you a heads up that we have about 10-15 minutes left in the podcast. Just wanted to thank you again for coming on. Thank you for your time, and thank you for being vulnerable to a complete stranger. Definitely appreciate it. So give me one more number.
Okay. 8.
What is something you want to get into more? Like, what do you want? Is there any activity or hobby that you want to start?
Maybe. Oh, I've been trying to get more into music. I'm learning how to play the piano, and I also, one of my, I guess, struggling things is when I sing, I don't like singing in front of people or talking in front of people. I'm just a stage fright person, stage frightened person. So I want to explore that.
For sure. You've never been on stage before, not for a play or performance in school, nothing?
I have, but I've always been like small roles or yeah.
No, I got you.
Just not the center of attention.
I got you. What kind of music do you enjoy, and are you influenced by that as far as when you make your music?
Oh, definitely. I guess one of my top genres would be classic rock, indie rock. I guess any pop or that. I mean, I have when someone tells me what kind of music do you listen to, I just say yes. I mean, it's all over the place.
I got you. Well, what's your go-to song for, getting yourself in a good mood?
Ooh, I think, House of the Rising Sun by the Animals.
House of the Rising Sun by the Animals. I had to repeat that so I could watch it myself later on, or listen to it myself. I'll definitely check it out. I'm pretty open-minded and eclectic with my music taste, but it all comes back to like this. I'm a hip-hop head, I'll admit it, and I had my college roommates who put me on to a lot of indie stuff, and I'm definitely fortunate for that, because I was neglecting a whole nother world, so I'll check that out. Say it one more time. By the Animals, right?
Yes. House of the Rising Sun.
House of the Rising Sun. For sure. All right, so we've reached to the concluding portion of the podcast. I only have a few more questions for you. And this question is actually from my previous guest. I've been trying to find a way to connect guests together. So this one's coming from my uncle, actually. Shout out Tito Omar for this question. So he wanted to know, how could you change the world or contribute to the world to make it safer or better?
Just be, I guess, a friend to people so they can be friends to others.
It really sounds so simple, but I think it's the most effective thing. Like we were saying earlier, we can only control ourselves, we can only affect ourselves, but hopefully us doing that can rub off on others, and it continues on. You ever watch that movie Pay It Forward? Or heard of it?
No, I haven't.
The synopsis for everybody who hasn't seen it, I think it was an assignment this teacher gave to his class about, I want you to come up with something a project that would change the world. So this kid, he was like, I think he's in 3rd grade, 4th grade in the movie. His idea was like, you know what, I'm gonna be nice to one person, and hopefully that person is nicer to another person. And I know it's just a movie, so it's not real, but it was just a great idea to see how like the whole world was kind of moved by this one kid's actions. And so if you haven't seen it, I recommend it, and everybody else out there as well.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Pay It Forward.
Yep.
And then my next question for you is, what is the greatest lesson you've learned thus far in your life?
That you don't know what you don't know. I guess, does that need explaining?
Explain it from your perspective. What does that mean for you?
You don't know what you don't know. That would mean to me that, how do I word this? To not have hubris and say I know everything, or I know I'm right all the time, or to not limit yourself. Like, some people believe in aliens, some people don't believe in aliens, and they deny it with their whole heart, or they say it with their whole heart and believe it with their whole heart. But I think there should be like an open mind and then a sort of humbling of, I don't know everything, you know? Yeah.
I got you. No. Yeah, I mean, they say the wisest person is the one that knows they know nothing, right? So I know what you mean. And my very last question for you is, what would you like to ask the next guest that comes onto the show?
I would like to ask, if you could meet anybody dead or alive, who would you want to meet?
For sure. I got you. Let me just type it out. Or alive, who would you meet? Gotcha. All right, Lydia. Well, we made it to the end of the podcast. I just want to thank you again. Thank you to the viewers and listeners out there for tuning in. Definitely appreciate your guys' time as well. And yeah, I haven't figured out the best way for me to close out these conversations just yet. Still figuring out my signature, but